Hello, and welcome to Anime at Large special segment, by the way. Hopefully, all of you are doing amazing today, and yeah, and see what we get today. But yeah, so in this special segment, trying to do more of the shows I've have in my collection that I'm a little bit more passionate about, or at least has a little bit more history behind it, from my side, and talk a little bit more about it and see how it goes. So, and these are not really in any particular order. There's probably going to be another part to this as well, just to show a little bit more of what I have here. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, the first one here is the Suzuka limited edition box set. So, I feel this is the best version of it out there for this edition. We have volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in this beautifully presented box. Now, if you haven't seen Suzuka, and yes, I do have them all sealed in this case. I do have a standard edition, but I just want to show the limited here. But yeah, this is a sports show. And again, as you probably seen from most of my videos, I don't really watch many sports shows. But this is probably one of the first ones, and for one of the few I've watched towards the beginning of my watching, I wouldn't say career, but more of my viewing pleasure, or I don't know how you want to call it, but it's one of the few shows I've watched from a sports genre in the beginning of my watching life. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, pretty much in essence, track and field love story. Really nicely developed with this new two characters. The main female protagonist, Suzuka. So it's it's very eye-opening, real. The anime does do justice to the show, but I feel if you read the manga, it's so much better, and it goes, and that's partially because it goes beyond what the anime goes and describes like usual. So it's like, well, here's your sampler, read the rest. But it was also one of the few shows, in this case also manga, that I just couldn't stop reading or even watching. Like it just kept on going and going, and it was one of those amazing moments that many of you probably went through and saying, "Whoa, this I can't sleep anymore. I need to know what happens." And this is one of them. So I was really excited to finally get the limited edition box set, and it has a little bit of a special place in my heart because it's just well done in my opinion. So it works pretty well, and yeah. Suzuka. Next one here that has a little bit more of a place in my heart and what I've watched is Toradora. Really well known in my opinion, at least if you've watched anime in the 2000s, earlier 2000s than what we are right now. But yeah, it's the one of the standard tsundere kind of romantic kind of shows that, in my opinion, had great music, great story, great characters, and did it pretty well. And in this case, I got the limited edition from NIS America, and also got different signatures from the dub as well. Throughout my time going through two different conventions, so pretty nice here in general. Again, I think both the sub and dub are phenomenal, no matter how you watch this show, and lots of great little moments. Palm Top Tiger, great art book here. Kind of sift through some of these, but yeah, done pretty well. Really like the presentation they have on the art book in here, and yeah, nothing special on this on reading the manga or anything like the last one, but I know this is one of the few shows I've watched a good number of times in the past. I haven't really watched it recently though. Maybe I should again, but again, there's so many shows to watch now, more than before. but yeah, great stuff. As you can see, this one's open, which I actually watched it from this show, so I can show you a lot in general. But yeah, highly recommend it. Great story, and yeah, happy to have this really in my collection. Um, Next one here is the Ultimate Collection for Saberman Aj. So if you're not aware, this has Saberman Aj and J2X and Saber J again. So it has pretty much a majority of what you have from Saber J in a nice art box with, in this case, a signature. And I forget if it was the, I should probably know, probably character design or whatnot, but this was limited to, I think, like 5,000 copies or so. So this is a little bit more than outside the middle, but either way, really happy to have this. And I just put this out because honestly, this is one of the shows I ever watched in my life, and this kind of can age me in a way, considering when this show came out. But yeah, when I saw this, it was quite a interesting experience. I didn't watch it through DVD though. I've watched it when it was on VHS. Yeah, so it was a special time. I didn't even know what anime was at the time. It just looked interesting, and it was a, yeah. It was a show you just found on the shelf randomly and in a video store. Back in the day, you get through Suncoast or stores like that. People remember those, and you just buy shows there, and then yeah, and then go and watch it. But yeah, watched this back then and had a good time with it, and the journey kind of went from there. Besides, the typical Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh time frame, but this is really the first one you could say like it was more of the obscure anime and whatnot. So again, later on, I figured out this was anime and kind of went from there. But yeah, it's nice that they have a whole different package from Bandai with pretty much the entire show. And again, the music's fantastic, characters are great. So I'm glad I started out with a show that worked out pretty well in my favor. So again, you never know what you randomly find out there. So you never know if that's going to be your next love or not, in essence. Next one here, which might be the rarest out of all of them, is the Welcome to the NHK set, which is the limited edition. And I only say that because this actually has volume 6. Now, volume 6 on this set is probably one of the rarest from Funimation that you would ever find. Then again, I could be wrong, but from my opinion, it's just really hard to find the volume 6 of this set. But this is not why I'm showing it to you. I don't know, when I first saw this, it's like when you're watching Genshiken. It's that time of being with a group of people. At least for Genshiken, it's more of being around a group of people that have the same likes and vision for shows that you would enjoy. And in this case, it's really about a guy figuring out what he's into, in essence, and how he deals with it for the first time. And the expressions, the character development of Sato is amazing, with Yamazaki, which is a great supporting character. Like, this is probably one of the few shows I've watched maybe 5-10 times, all from the beginning to end. Though sometimes, yeah, you just put in the background, but like still, this showed a real testament of, like, I just couldn't stop watching it again, and I know it can get pretty dark. As you can see here, it can be a dark show, but if you get past that though, or if you're into darker shows, this can work. It's very real. It will get you through some emotions. Probably not like Clenad emotions. That's different. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and again, the music's great. Plot, character, everything is great. So like this, I don't even care if it was for the rarity. It's just amazing. So it's yeah. Yeah. I can't really explain further, but yeah, if you haven't watched this, go watch it. So worth your time. And yeah. Now, talking about what should be worth your time, and maybe more people have seen, is this little show called Steins Gate. It, man, the characters in here for Krisu, Orkabe, Mayuri, like, or Daru, yeah, like, some people might not be into time travel or how time travel is depicted in Steins Gate, which is fine. Like, everyone has their own opinions on it, but I don't know, the concept behind it, the characters behind it, like, it just works out so great. And if you're into science, Japan, Akiba, since it pretty much takes place pretty close to there or in there practically, this is a show for you. I feel like most people watch anime for a while has heard of this show or watched it, at the bare minimum heard about it. It's totally worth your time, unless you, again, you're not into time travel, science, or or whatnot. But yeah, the opening and ending, probably still one of my top 10 shows ever. It's on the top of my list for sure on great shows. Words cannot explain really how I feel about this. Again, I probably watch it as much as I watch NHK. Going through the past, completely worth it. Here, it's the limited edition set. There is a Steins Gate Zero, which I do enjoy. But again, you go with the original, so and it works out pretty well. So yeah, Steins Gate. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Really great stuff. Yeah. I yeah, again, not many shows in my opinion can test to that, but again, there's a lot of great shows out there, so I can't really say that there's no other better show, but either way, so I guess that's it for this part. I'll probably make another part with 5 other shows I have, and then see what I get from there. But yeah, there's a lot of shows that really, I wouldn't say changed me for the better. It's more about realize like the show's potential and in society in general. Like you learn more about people. Like some shows you probably not so much, but there's just some shows that you just look at the world a different way. And uh, yeah, I don't know. That's probably the best I can explain for now. I'll probably think of something better in the next video, but I guess for now I'll keep it there. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed what you saw. And yeah, if there's any shows that you enjoy really well, put them in the comments below. And then I could probably talk about them later on too, if I own it. So again, hope you have a great rest of your day, and see you next time.